Hi everyone. So why is it that the humble record deck actually sounds better with an old record on it than it does with the new equivalents? What's actually gone wrong? Because the latest records you can buy now are really expensive. They're probably more like £20 to £30 a shot, and their actual sound quality, I'm not really talking about the actual music that's on there, but the sound quality coming off doesn't seem to be as good, anywhere near as good in fact, as an old album. Now, I'm not one of these that stays in the past and doesn't move on with modern gear, because I do like a lot of modern music. Going to that end, I've got good old, dear old Eddie Sheeran here, we've got Paloma Faith here. You know, I do try to keep up with things. You know, I like modern music as well as old. You know, we've got lots of new stuff here. London Grammar, there's some good stuff here. There's who's this here? I can't remember. Yeah, I'll do what I'm playing about. And this guy here, really good. Great album if you fancy something really kind of in between jazz and pop. Really good. Anyway, now what I've got to say is that the thing is, they don't sound as good as these. I know. Legend, Bob Marley, you know, Donald Fagen, James Taylor, yeah, Dire Straits, and of course Pink Floyd. Now, I wonder what's gone on, but I kind of worked it out years ago. What's gone on is that after about 86 to 88, somewhere around there, a lot of recording studios started getting in digital equipment. It was making its first appearance, and they was using computers to record music, as they still do now. They may have higher rate digital bit converters and the very best in digital equipment you can find or buy, way above what we can get. But still the sound does not compete with an old track off an old album, which is really odd. I've got some old stuff that is really ancient. I'm talking about like early 60s stuff, but still the quality kind of comes right off the record. Some old Billy Fury track, they really are away, and the quality just beats a modern track, and it's unbelievable what's happened. I mean, I've got to say, that dear old Ed Sheeran here, now I think you recognise that on this album, that he wanted as good a quality as he could get on this divide. So what he did was, he did a funny thing, because I got the album, put it on the platter, and he was going, like it, and that's when I realised he'd recorded at 45 RPM. It was a bit strange until I realised that if you record at a higher speed, you tend to get a better quality, and I think that's what he was trying to get, some better quality off of the album by doing that. But I'm afraid if you recorded digitally in the first instance, in a digital recording studio, you're held right there. It's not going to happen. So, good as it is, still not as good. Pick an old Beatles track out, Help, one of those, can't buy that, and when it comes on, the impact kind of whacks you back. It's like a whoa, and it's kind of got more dynamics and dynamism about, I don't know what you'd kind of call it, something that isn't digital anyway. So to my mind, records are great. I'm still buying them. They're a lot of money now, but I can actually get almost the equivalent quality sound by using a high-res site to play them on, and literally by going through this Cambridge Audio DAC, I can virtually mimic the quality of the record. But I can't with any old analogue ones. If I try an old analogue on one of those high-res sites, and even it may be remastered, it still will not catch the quality of the actual dear old analogue record from the time, which will sound a lot better. So I think that's the problem. Now, I don't know if you remember a band called the White Stripes back in the late 80s, early 90s. They recognised that sound quality wasn't as good with the digital sound, and they recorded their albums on an old analogue studio. There wasn't many left at that stage, and they recorded an old 24-track analogue studio, and because they liked the analogue sound. It was warmer, more vibrant, more in contact with the music more. It's an indescribable thing that I could only really show you if I was to play it, but you wouldn't hear it on YouTube. You're just nowhere near the quality. But if you was to hear a record I could put on that was a new one and then put an old one on, you'd hear the difference that the old one is far better. So it kind of feels like a bit of a backward step with the quality of sound with digital against the old analog records, which is a shame because we can't seem to escape it, can we? As I say, I'm not one for not having the latest equipment in digital. I've got it all here, and I'm trying to keep up with it as best I can, because it isn't bad, but after a little while I tire of it, and when you put a record on, it kind of opens out the music in a way that digital just cannot do it. Unfortunately, I found that's the same with the records. If they've been recorded digitally in the first instance in a digital recording studio using computers, it still doesn't bring back that analog sound. Anyway, that's my take on it, and that's why I think old records recorded pre-86 backwards will sound, to me, always better than a modern equivalent done on a digital recording studio. That's my opinion. Maybe you found something really good out there. It does sound pretty good maybe when it's done digitally. Please put it down in the comments, let us all know. Anyway, that's all from me. Just a little quick one on records and my thoughts on the whole thing. I'm sure you've got yours as well. So do put them in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and catch you next time. Bye bye.